Alright, so welcome to a video on the order of operations. So this is going to be a big help for us when we start solving our equations. We're going to follow order of operations most of the time, and it's just the basic thing you need to know for your maths. So we've got some rules, and I'm sure you've seen this before. This is a bit of a review. So if you haven't already, you should pause this video right now, write all this down, then listen, and write anything down extra that I say. So we're going to look over here on the left with the PEMDAS. So that stands for parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So those are the order of operations. These are all the operations we're going to be doing. And then on the right here we have the rules. So we're going to use these rules and follow them as we go along to help us simplify these problems, and then they'll help us later as we do more and more advanced maths. So rule number one, and it's really the most important, is we're going to go left to right. So we're always going to do a problem from the left side to the right side, just like you read a book. Then we're going to calculate our parentheses, simplify our exponents, multiply, divide, then add, subtract. And the multiply, divide, add, subtract, that is just whichever one we come to first, going left to right. That's why left to right is number one and the most important. If we're going left to right and we hit a divide, and then next to multiply, we divide first. And then a couple little things to add here. So, we may stay in a rule for multiple steps. So you're going to see this later on a problem. We're going to stay in parentheses for a while, and within the parentheses we're going to do other things. So you can stay within one rule essentially for multiple steps. And then inside the parentheses, our rules start over. So once we hit a parentheses, we're going to look back and go, okay, are there more parentheses? Are there exponents? And we're going to stay inside those parentheses until we're done, until we've done all the rules. And if that doesn't make sense now, hopefully it will after we do that problem where we actually have to stay within it. Okay, so the first problem we are going to do is this. We're going to do 12 minus 2 times 4 plus 9. So we're going to do 12 minus 2 times 4 plus 9. And then what we're going to do there, the first thing is we are going to multiply negative 2 times 4. So as we go left to right, we see no parentheses, no exponents, so we have this multiply there. So we're going to multiply negative 2 times 4 and get negative 8. We didn't do anything to the 12 or the plus 9, so it's going to just drop down. So we get 12 minus 8 plus 9. Now we still look at our rules. Everything's gone but addition, subtraction. So we hit a 12 minus 8 first. So we do 12 minus 8, which is 4. Then we get to bring that down, and that 12 minus 8 turns into a 4 plus 9. And the last thing to do was 4 plus 9, which is 13. So our final answer there is 13. Okay, the next problem we're going to do is a real doozy. So it's 6 divided by 2 plus 3 times 15 plus 3 times the parentheses 7 minus 9 to the third power, close parentheses. So we have a lot going on there. We've got a whole lot going on there. But that's why we have the rules. So we're going to go left to right. And we're going to calculate parentheses first. Boom, I hit a parentheses. My rules start over. So within the parentheses, I go left to right. And I find another set of parentheses. So I have to now look within those parentheses. So within these parentheses is 7 minus 9. So that means the first thing I have to do is 7 minus 9. So out of all this craziness going on here, we just do 7 minus 9 first and get negative 2. So that means that everything else comes down. The 6, the divide by 2, plus 3, 15, plus 3. And the only thing that changes is this 7 minus 9 becomes a negative 2. Our parentheses, our third exponent to the third, and our closed parentheses also come down. So that's the only thing we're changing. Now, as you get better at this, you'll be able to change things, but not right now. Okay, so we're still within these parentheses. We have an exponent. So we're going to do negative 2 to the third. And you need to keep this in parentheses because of that negative. So we're going to do negative 2 to the third power. And when you type it in the calculator, it's in parentheses. And that gives us negative 8. So that means that on our next one here, everything drops down just the same. Except now, instead of a negative 2 to the third, it becomes a negative 8. We're still within these parentheses. We have a 15 plus 3 and a 3 times negative 8. So we're going to multiply first. So 3 times negative 8. So we do 3 times negative 8, which gives us negative 24. So again, everything drops down besides that 3 times negative 8, which turns into a minus 24. So 6's divide plus 3, 15, all come down. Now we've just got this minus 24. We're still inside this parentheses, and we're going to get out of it after this step. So the last thing we have is 15 minus 24. So we do 15 minus 24 and get negative 9. Oop, too far. So now we rewrite that 15 minus 24 as a negative 9. We're finally outside those parentheses. We're done with them. Even though there's a parentheses here, that just represents multiplication. So we go left to right, and we have a division, 6 divided by 2. So we do 6 divided by 2 to get 3. We rewrite everything, except instead of a 6 divided by 2, we have 3. So 6 divided by 2 becomes 3, plus 3 minus 9 drop down. Now we can multiply our 3 times negative 9 to get negative 27. So we get 3 minus 27. And that's the last thing we do. 3 minus 27 is negative 24, giving our final answer of negative 24. So there was a lot going on there. Again, I highly encourage you to write things out like this. Write out what we did before, that way you don't get confused and wonder where the heck something came from. So there's our video on order of operations.